I'll do. We're trying the phone out here today. I don't know how well this is going to record, but well, we'll give her a shot. So what I want to do, this is a pretty simple little thing. I want to add the oil idiot light switch back to my car. This is a oil pressure extension on Fords. The tap in the block, it's just quarter MPT, but it's up inside a little area on the block where you can't fit this big old chunky sender for the oil pressure gauge. So you get this thing here. It's just a piece of 7/8 hex with the quarter male on this end and a quarter female. This guy screws into here, and kind of faces sort of down towards the ground on my car. I want to put this guy in, so I'm going to need a second pressure port. Initially, I was thinking, well, I could just put it in the end, but as you can see, this is awful close to the edge of the thing here, and if I get that to screw in, it's going to be well into the threads back in there, and I don't want to lose, because there's already a hole there, right, where the oil feed is, and if I cut through that, I'll just be grabbing on two sides here, and I don't think that's going to seal very well. So what we are going to do is figure out where that makes sense to be. Probably, right about there is probably about good, and just drill and tap a hole there. Pretty simple deal, but first we're going to clean this up, find the center line on it, and then do our drill work. I don't have a vise for my drill press currently, so we're going to have to figure out how to clamp this bad boy down. Of course, a vise wouldn't do me a lot of good because this is hex stock, and I'd be, grabbing out here on the points anyway. So, well, let's get this cleaned up, and I'll figure out how to clamp this bad boy up. Hopefully, I won't screw this up. Okay, so we got it wire brushed off, and it may not show up too well, but there's a line scribed right there. I just stuck that in the lathe and used the tool on center height just to kind of roll the carriage back and forth and give me a nice line right down the middle. And I decided that 1.5 inches from this flat right here, see, this is kind of, they milled it out, it's slightly recessed, so 1.5 inches from this raised edge here to right there puts the sender pretty much in a good spot. So let me set that back on there and I'll show you. Oops. Try to do this one-handed here with my dirty hands. Spacing looks all right. I can get a wrench in there. Everything's plenty clear. So I've got that center punched right there with my handy dandy Starrett spring-loaded automatic center punch, and we're gonna. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. We're gonna stick this bad boy on the drill press and figure some means of clamping it down so it doesn't take off on me. And I'll use the center drill, pilot drill, and quarter MPT tap drill, which is 7/16 of an inch, I do believe, which I will confirm. I have a chart around here somewhere for it. So we'll confirm that, and probably use the drill press to start the tap at least. That way it's centered. I don't have very good pipe taps. They're not super high quality. They're actually from Harbor Freight, so they're pretty bad quality, but it should be good enough for this. But let me get this set up and we'll come back. Alright, so there it is with a little bit of fresh paint on it. It's the oil pressure sender itself, and here's the extension rod. Just drilled and tapped hole, and that's the original one. Of course, I don't have a milling machine, so we're not milling flats in it like that, and may not show up so well out here in the sun because it's just so doggone bright. But let me take this inside real quick where I can actually see something. Alright, may not show up, but in the bottom of this, it looks like they got that one with an end mill. It's got a very slightly radius bottom. Doesn't have a point like you'd get with a drill bit. This one, of course, I did with a drill bit because I have a drill press. So on this one, the hole comes through almost to the bottom. The threads go slightly beyond that. This one, the hole just kind of broaches the bottom there. So hopefully it'll work. I had a little bit of trouble getting it drilled because the drill bit kept catching in the slot, where the tube, where the drilling through in the center is. the flutes of the drill kept catching in it, so I had to feed it really, really slow and just kind of whittle away at it until it stopped jamming up. So anyway, I'm gonna put this bad boy in and see what we get. All right, we'll try and get a view from the operational side of it. The light that I just fixed is right there, and the oil pressure gauge is right there. So, all right, engine off, everything's at 0. Key on. I have oil pressure idiot light and music apparently. So 0 oil pressure. So we have the gauge comes up, and the idiot light over there went away. So okay, so there it is in place. The bell sensor here is that's the actual gauge sender, and that guy right there at the single wire on it, you kind of half can't see, is the idiot light sender. I probably should have spaced the idiot light sender a little bit more, towards the left here, closer to the large sender, because I'm probably not going to be able to get an angle on it. But this is really, really close to that fuel line. It's actually just about touching right there. It's not touching, but yeah, you could just about see that. You might be able to get a piece of paper in there, but that's about it. I actually had to unclip the fuel line from where it goes right there to get a socket on that bad boy to tighten it, and I still couldn't get a socket on it. I ended up using an open-end wrench and just very carefully doing it. So kind of awkward. Should have gotten a little closer that way, but it's in. I imagine changing the oil filter is going to be a little bit fun. That's not touching either, but again, it's awful darn close. I mean, there's plenty of space down that way. And apparently I got a slight leak back here somewhere. We got a little drippy doo hanging there, but no big deal. So I'm just going to neaten this wiring up a little bit, because I don't really like how it's hanging, and call this project quits. So yeah, it works as I expect it to. You turn the key on, you get the red idiot light, and you crank the engine, it goes away, and I get oil pressure. So yeehaw. Alrighty, appreciate the views, comments, whatever. Have a fine Labor Day.